Good evening, young Padawans and Padawans, and welcome once again to your Monday night. That is right, it is I, the Redneck, wow, the Redneck JT, coming to you for another episode of Two Ewoks in the Park. I have the geek, Sully. Wow, my brain is shot. Anyway, tonight we're reviewing Andor Season 2, Episodes 7, 8, and 9. So, do me a favor, grab yourself something to drink or your favorite adult beverage, whichever you prefer. Something to munch on, sit back in that beanbag chair and strap yourself in because it's going to be a bumpy-ass ride, as you can tell. Yeah, Sully, take it away, man.
Oh, are you sure you want me to take it away? Because I don't know.
I'm sure you'll do better than me because I mean I screwed up the intro 3 freaking times.
I mean,
yeah,
it could be worse, I suppose. I
mean, not by much.
It could very much be worse. You know, if you think about it.
I don't want to think about it.
I don't know. I mean, oh, it's been a crazy weekend, crazy day. Oh, come on in, have some fun with us. We're live on Twitch, YouTube, DLive, Kick, Facebook, and of course, TikTok. So hello, everybody, and welcome to Two Ewoks in the Park. See, look at that. I'm screwing up, too. Isn't that wonderful?
Ooh.
I know, right? It's bright. It's bright. Oh, that was a window. Ooh. I don't know if
that was a window. It's actually nice out.
It is nice out. It's beautiful out. It's not raining. It's all good.
Say something good.
Nah.
Okay.
Hello.
How are ya? Wait, what did you think of these last 3 episodes?
I finally figured out what was going on half the time.
See, told you I'm not the only one.
No, you're not the only one.
It's not my favorite series,
but
it's not the worst.
Right.
But it's not the worst. I like it. I like it.
Yeah, she's not into this one as much as she was the last one.
No.
Acolyte? She was really into the Acolyte?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you are very rare.
Why do you think I kept her?
I want to say hi to Jay Fernandez, Lewis, Liam, and of course, my buddy Jenna saying hello. How are you? Welcome to the stream. And she says, hello, my friend. And I say, hello back, darling. Hello back. Also want to say hi to Scott. Come on in, have some fun with us. We're going to be talking about Andor Season 2, Episodes 7, 8, and 9. All in one shot because holy crap. Spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't watched Star Wars or Andor over the last week. And if you haven't watched it in the last week, what is wrong with you? I mean, I'm just putting out. Oh, Jenna, my buddy Jenna just gave me a heart. Thanks, buddy.
Are you sure you want to ask that question?
What, if people have been living under a rock or, you know?
No, what's wrong with you?
Well, we all know what's wrong with me. I mean, come on.
Yeah, but I was talking about you asking them what's wrong with them.
I mean, listen, I'll just paint a picture real quick. Middle child named Matthew. Enough said. I mean, whoa. This Gen Xer is like, whoa. But anyway, that's for another time. It really is. It's for another time. We got to get right down to the nitty gritty because, wow. First, I want to get the initial reaction from JT from the 3 episodes that we watched this week, only because last 2 shows we did, I believe the exact words you and I both said was, I hope it picks up in the second part of this.
Yeah, that was the consensus.
So the beginning question is, did these 3 episodes change a little bit for you?
Yeah.
Wow. See, so we're over that hump now, and we're going downward.
Well, and that's the thing. Like the first week, it was a struggle up the hill
It was a little bit, yeah.
in 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
In 4, 5, and 6, 4 and 5 were kind of getting up to the top of the hill and moving forward a little bit.
Right.
Episode 6, we were just on the precipice, getting ready to go over the side.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, what are they going to do to push us over the side?
Yeah. And
I would say that a mass slaughter of people in the place where there was a memorial for the mass slaughter of people
yeah.
is a good way to kind of push you over the edge.
Yeah. Now, if you think about it, this is kind of reminiscent of something in our history from, I don't know, the 80s, maybe.
Maybe.
I mean, I'm just saying something happened in China in 1989.
Wasn't it Tiananmen Square?
Yep, Tiananmen Square. Think about it. Think about it.
Do I have to?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Because if I do, it'll hurt.
It will hurt but it's okay. It's okay. So,
well, I mean, there's multiple examples that we can use.
Yeah, absolutely.
The most recent, obviously, would be 2001.
Yes, but
and then before that would be Tiananmen.
Well, the only reason why I would say Tiananmen Square is because of what happened, and we're going to get into it. So mind you, these next 3 episodes take place 2 years before the Battle of Yavin.
Right.
So we've gone from 4 to 3. Now we're at 2, and again, everything is connected. So the first 6 episodes we mentioned basically like the growing rebellion. We've mentioned the planet Gorman, which we've seen already. We've seen the Empire doing their own spying on their own people there. We've seen a resistance rising up on Gorman. We've seen the rebellion building up Yavin, like big time, because we've already seen it without it built up. And as things are progressing, more and more is coming out. So these next 3 episodes, back to back, all have to center around Gorman and what is going to happen at Gorman.
Right.
And I don't know about you, but I noticed a lot of real similarities with these 3 episodes to things aside from Tiananmen Square, because that was, obviously that's a big one, and again that kind of paints the picture of what's going to happen on Gorman, okay? But how it comes about, how things, basically the match gets lit, so to speak, for things to happen. And we start off with Bixen and Cassian Andor on Yavin 4, living their own life. Now, Cassian is not 100% a rebel. We know this. He's more of a privateer, so to speak, but working for the Rebel Alliance. And that's one thing that they've kept true to Rogue One and Andor, is that he's not totally with the Rebel Alliance, but he kind kind of is, and it's kind of like he does his own thing, and he only gets called upon when he needs to be called upon, or he gets involved when he needs to get involved, you know?
Right.
So when it comes down to it, he's trying to start a life with Bix on Yavin 4. Outside the base, away from the base, minding his own business. And then we see we see Pac show up. Now, if you don't remember Pac, you should, because Pac was working not only with the Rebel Alliance, but he was also a survivor of Phoenix. He knows Bix and Andor very well, and he is now pretty much working for the Rebel Alliance, saying Luthen Rail wants you, he needs you, you got to get ready to work. The Alliance needs you. And Andor's like, no, I'm done. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this anymore. I've seen so many things that I don't want to see it anymore.
He's been involved in it for a while.
Andor, yeah.
I mean, at this point, not counting season 1,
which
we're 9 years.
Which season 1 was a full year.
Mm-hmm. So 10 years. 10 years he's been doing this.
At least.
By the time we hit our last episode for this review, it's going to be 10 years at least that he's been assisting the resistance, I guess you could say.
4 years. 4 years. 4 years, and he was helping make parts for the Death Star.
Right. That was in season 1.
Because that was in season 1, and he was in jail. He was in jail.
Yeah, but I mean, he's been doing it for a long time. He's seen a lot of shit, and that's not counting the things that he saw before he actually started working for the Alliance.
Well, yeah.
So
I want to say hi.
There's a lot of history.
I want to say hi to Megan.
Megan!
She just came in on TikTok and helped me hit a tiny dinosaur goal. And she just reached level 18 on the member list. Thank you, darling. Thank you. She
Good
gave me a
stuff, Maynard.
vote. She hearted me. Listen, Megan, I love you. Love you, babe. Thank you. Plus, she gets all her Star Wars knowledge from this.
There you go. A lot of it from me, just take as a grain of salt, but
yeah, I mean, it happens. I'm just putting it out there.
I'm getting better. I'm getting better.
Oh, and now she's loading me up with roses. Thank you, darling. Thank you. I owe you. I owe you so much. So much. So, one thing that Pac was doing was basically telling Andor that Supervisor Deidre Miro is now on Gorman and knows exactly where she is, and that he needs to go for multiple things. One, revenge for what she did on Phoenix. And two, well, you take her out, it's going to help out the Rebel Alliance big time.
Right.
And hopefully, save a bunch of people.
That would be the goal.
It's not a bad goal to have if you think about it. Not a bad goal. So obviously that piques Andor's interest a little bit, and he's like, okay, well, you know what? I'll go. I'll go, and we'll do what we need to do, and we'll make things. What's the word I'm looking for? More intriguing.
There you go. There you go.
So to speak. Because I just got a heart kiss on my cheek on TikTok. That was, whoa. Hello.
Holy
So-
smokes, man! I didn't know they could actually reach through the computer like that.
It shows a little heart and it's kissing me on the cheek. Thank you, darling.
Aw.
Thank you.
Aw.
It's adorable. I love it. She's at level 19. She is just like on fire tonight. Thank you, dear. Thank you. So he decides he's going to go back to Gorman. He's going to take on the alias. What was the he was a designer, right? If I remember correctly. Do you remember what his name was?
No, I don't.
I can't remember what his name was as the designer, you know. But he's like, "Yep, I'm gonna head over there. I'll check it out, and we'll do what we need to do. But let me take care of a few things here first." And while that's happening, though, Gorman, we see the resistance on Gorman getting bigger and bigger.
Varian Sky.
Varian Sky, thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you for looking
Thank
that
Google.
up. That's why we have you here, so you can help.
Well, that's why we have Tank, but he's not here, so I got to take over.
No, he doesn't like doing the spoiler stuff. I don't mind. I don't mind. But in the long run, he's going to go back as Varian Sky and do this whole thing. But Gorman is seeing a huge, huge rise in resistance from the people of Gorman. And that's when the Empire starts to be like, okay, you know what? We need to, nip this in the butt.
Right.
We do. We need to nip it in the butt. Because that is our planet now. We need the resources. We're going to take it over. So, yeah, we're going to send our own people in, and they're going to do what they need to do, and you're going to listen to them. Sounds like a plan, so to speak, for the Empire. Because it's true, they do need the weapon. They do need the materials from the Earth.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, like we said in the last 2 episodes, for the last 6 episodes, if they fully take over Gorman, they're going to destroy that planet. Because the material that they need is deep within the core of the planet. And by drilling and doing what they need to, it's going to destroy the planet. It's going to break it apart.
Right.
Which that's like, okay, don't know what we're going to do here.
And that's the thing. The Empire doesn't care. Once they get what they want.
Well, right. And with Krennic involved, and again, we saw Krennic in what was it, episode 2? And then he was just referenced, and now he's back. Krennic is in charge of this whole thing. He's in charge of the Death Star being built. We know this from Rogue One. Which, again, this takes place 2 years before Battle of Yavin. So, yeah. Death Star is still being built. And we know it's being built. I loved that they referenced Grand Moff Tarkin in this.
Right.
Because, he's in charge of the Death Star. Oh, yeah. One of the main governors that, yeah. You don't want to mess with him, that's for sure. That's crazy. What were those? Hearts with smiley faces and diamonds? That's weird. I'm getting too distracted. I mean, who said that? So, the Empire sends one of their, what was it? The crisis specialist. Specialist. Also known as Captain Cato. He's one of those guys you don't want to mess with.
No, he's a dick.
He really is. He's something, that's for sure. He's something. But he's one of those hard-driven war captains that is not going to take any shit from anybody. Like, you're a soldier of the Empire. You need to act like it.
Right.
So when it comes down to it, he's the one you don't want to mess with. Doesn't matter who it is. You don't want to mess with him. And more and more tensions are rising on Gorman. But not only that, tensions are rising on Coruscant too. Because Mon Mothma is now under... I don't know. I wouldn't say she's under fire. Would you say she was under fire?
Not yet.
More just in the forefront of things.
Yes.
You know, very open, has absolutely no problem telling people where to stick it, but in a nice way. You know? And while she's talking with Erskine Samaj, another senator slash soldier slash commander, who eventually is a prominent commander in the Rebel Alliance. He is expressing himself very nicely, I think. You know, he's not going too overboard, saying that there's, you know, a lot of things going on pertaining to Gorman.
Right. I would agree.
So it's kind of weird seeing the rich nightlife of the senators on Coruscant and then seeing the low life that Andor and Bix and the Rebel Alliance are all living, including the people of Gorman.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Andor also confronts Luthen Rael. Kind of gets a little angry with him, to say the least.
A little bit. Just a little bit.
I mean, I don't blame him, because basically Luthen's like, I'm going to snap my fingers and you're going to march because I told you to.
Right.
You know, and when it comes down to it, that's just not what Andor does. You know, it's crazy, I guess you could say.
Okay.
Shit, I just lost my train of thought. I just went all out there.
I hate it when that happens, man.
Holy crap. Holy crap, I can't believe I just did that.
He just said, which way did it go, George?
Which way did he go? Which way did he go? I don't
know.
I don't know which way he went, because, yeah. And I just lost my page, too.
Oh, did you? That definitely doesn't help.
I lost my page of notes. So, back to Gorman. Gorman, like I said, we're seeing a rising resistance. And in the headquarters, Delon and Carol Rylands are saying we need to do something. We need to stand up. We need to fight. We need to stop being this peaceful demonstration, and we need to start fighting back violently. And don't get me wrong, I kind of agree with this, but at the same time, I'm also like, fighting never really solves anything. But I also understand not going peacefully too. And Lazine, who we saw from the previous episode where he carried what's her name back down into the sewers so they could get away and take the body with them so she wasn't left alone.
Right.
He is now part of the resistance and basically telling them, listen, doesn't matter what you do. Peaceful isn't going to solve anything. Violence isn't going to solve anything. But at the same time, something does need to be done. Something needs to be done. We're Gore and we're proud. And that kind of just sparked them to kind of go, oh, you know what? He's right. He's right. He's right. Now, while this is all unfolding, Andor gets a little visit from an interesting person. A healer of sorts. One of magic abilities. Maybe one with the Force.
I would say one with powers. Not magic abilities, powers.
Or Force sensitive. Because that is...
I think that kind of fits in that category.
It fits in for, Force sensitive.
Yep.
Because...
But what was interesting with this interaction...
Yeah.
Was Bix and Cassian were walking up to this place. They hadn't even gotten where this lady was.
Oh, yeah, no.
And she's in the middle of working on somebody.
Looked like she was massaging his shoulder.
She was kind of, she's doing what she did to Cassian, but more concentrated.
Yes.
But she's working on him. And all of a sudden, she stops and pulls back.
Like, huh?
It's like, wait a minute, something's reaching for my attention.
Something's not right.
Something's calling. Well, no, not something's not right. Something's calling to me.
Yeah.
I think would be more what she felt. And she turns around, and Bix and Cassian are kind of arguing back and forth because he doesn't believe in the stuff.
Right.
And he doesn't want to have anything to do with it, and that kind of thing. And Bex is saying, okay, just come look at it or whatever,
Yep.
And this lady stops what she's doing and walks over to him.
Sure
to them. And Cassian's like, you set this up to Bix. And Bix is like, no, I didn't.
No,
I had nothing to do with this.
It wasn't me. I didn't even know she was here.
Yeah, so it's, it's just the way that it all happened to me, being the person that I am, was rather convincing.
Yes.
Whereas to other people might just be kind of like, really,
Oh, come on, man.
But it was interesting, and very little interaction as far as dialogue.
Yeah.
Goes between her and Beck, or him and Cassian.
Yeah.
But she calls out what shoulder is hurt. Without talking to him.
Oh yeah, knew about the blaster, everything.
Mm-hmm.
Want to say hi to Katie Walls, and she says, "Can you please say happy birthday, Liana?" Yes, happy birthday, Liana.
Would you like me to redneck sing happy birthday to her?
I think you should.
Well, I want to make sure it's okay with her.
I think you should. Doesn't matter. It's our live.
It's Liana, right?
Yes,
Liana. Okay. Let's see if we can do this here.
You got this. Come on.
Okay. A happy birthday to you. A happy birthday to you. A happy birthday, dear Liana. Oh, a happy birthday to you.
Yay! So back to it. It's always good to take a little bit of a pause. Trust me. So to get back to it.
Yeah.
When it came down to her knowing about the blaster wound and just flat out using the Force, because she did, all she said was thank you, which confused,
like,
him.
What?
He's like, for what?
Basically for being you.
Yeah.
And that line in itself seemed to really piss Cassian off more.
Yes. And I think part of that is because of the way force sensitive people can see the future.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
And when she said the lines, and I remember this, and I made sure that I wanted to bring this up. The clarity, that feeling, it's been a very long time. I thought it had gone for good. It's so easy to lose faith.
Yep.
And that right there goes to show that he is a key player no matter what. And yes, I understand with the show being named after him. Yeah. But he's the reason that this is all happening. The whole kit and caboodle.
Right.
Now, granted, like you said, he got a little pissed at Bix, but
And he and that's the thing as because he leaves, but then Bix has a conversation with the healer.
yes,
And which we'll get to in a sec. But he leaves and goes back to their house,
he
to
did
where
a little
where they're
huffy puff.
staying and
That's what
everything.
he did. He did a
And
huff.
the next thing you know, you see him and he's moving his arm around like, hey, shit, it feels good. It doesn't hurt
great,
anymore,
actually.
And that guy, because she fixed him.
Yes. Yes.
But, and the reason he has a hard time with dealing with these kind of people, the Force healers, is because and Marva had a really bad experience about 10 years ago with a Force healer.
Which is understandable.
Yeah. You have a bad experience with one, you're going to doubt them all.
Yep.
It's totally understandable. So, but the conversation between Bix and the healer was interesting because she kept asking her, "What did you see?"
I saw this.
And basically she said that he's a messenger.
Yeah.
For the whole thing, he's a vital part. And Cassian doesn't want to hear that.
No, he doesn't want to hear that at all.
He's getting tired, and you can tell he's getting tired.
I don't blame him, to be honest.
Well, no, with how jumpy he is and how on edge he is and everything else, I don't blame him at all because he's been through the grinder multiple times.
Right.
And, obviously he hasn't come out unscathed.
No, definitely
not just physically, but mentally as well.
Agreed. And he's getting there, and I don't blame him because he's tired. He's been doing this too long.
Right.
But that's when he decides, you know what? I'm going to go to Gorman anyway. We need to see what's going on. And he loads up, and General Draven. First of all, I love a name Draven. I think that's a great name for a character.
Mm-hmm.
He's
not so happy.
Well, yes and no.
Not so happy about Andor leaving and taking one of his ships with him.
Yeah, and he's questioning him about why he's leaving, not telling anybody. This is not a privateer thing. You're supposed to be here with the soldiers. And he goes, and I loved Andor's response to this. It was, I told you, like I've told everybody else, that I will do this when I want to do this, where I want to do this. And when that day happens where you stop me, I'm done. I'm not doing it.
The day I have to ask permission is the day I'm done.
Yep.
Can't be any clearer than that.
Nope. But even Draven's like, it's unacceptable. Shouldn't be doing this. He's like, I'm going anyway. See you later.
I got things to do, buddy.
See you later. So he leaves Yavin 4, goes into hyperspace. Him and Pac are on the ship together. They're heading to Gorman. Because they need to find out what the hell's going on. You know, what exactly is happening to this? What is so important that the Empire is basically taking over Gorman for no reason?
Why is there a buildup there that there shouldn't be?
Yeah. What is the reasoning for this?
Right.
Now, Vel Sartha makes an appearance again. She's back. She visits Kayleen at her hut. And, Sartha tells Kayleen, listen, it's been a while. I'm training new recruits. Probably use your help, but, yeah, I just needed a break. I needed to get out. Needed to chill and relax. And then she mentions a name that we haven't heard of in a while. General Jan Dodonna. He is in charge of Yavin 4 while Mon Mothma is not. He is the reason that the plan for the Death Star were delivered to Yavin 4 so they can destroy it during the Battle of Yavin. He's the guy. I believe the actor is also dead who originally played him, so yeah, we're not going to see him.
Right.
Let's see. And I can double check on this. Hold on. Who played him? I mean, he lived to be a while, by the way.
Right. Well, while you're looking that up, one of the biggest things that come out of this conversation is that the leadership, the generals of the resistance, have invested a lot into Cassian Andor.
Sure.
Well, Cassian Andor has invested a lot in you. So, it kind of goes both ways there, pal. But the other thing was that she wanted to emphasize the fact that they disapprove of his leaving.
Tough shit.
his sudden departure. And Bix basically tells her that without telling her that.
Yeah.
Tell someone to F off without telling them to F off.
Right.
And she does so. Well, and the other thing is that she's saying that Andor needs discipline.
No, you need people like Andor.
Andor's one of the people that you don't want to mess with him. You tell him what you need him to accomplish and you let him do his thing.
Don't mess with him. Just let him do his thing.
Right. But Bix basically puts it all to rest by saying simply that Cassian Andor will be there when the rebels need him.
Yes.
And until then, this is unspoken, but until then, leave him the hell alone.
Yeah, because you're going to screw it up, and you don't want to screw it up with him.
You're going to piss him off, and he's going to leave.
Yeah.
And you need him. You need him.
It's crazy. Crazy. Now,
well, and they have transitioned from just being, a small little bit of a rebellion that does little, basically terroristic attacks on the Empire and everything else, into building a full-fledged army at this point. This is where the big buildup for the Rebel Alliance starts.
Oh, yeah. Well,
so, you look at the scenes when they show the Rebel Alliance base and everything else.
Yeah.
There's a shitload of stuff going on, and there's a shitload of people there, and they have new people coming in every single day.
Every day. The Rebel Alliance is building and building. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. But there's a reason. Because everything has a reason these days. Especially with Captain Cato on Gorman. With all new troops. Like, hey, get in line. March. Let's go.
Yeah.
Drill instructor type shit.
So if you and I, when we were in, would have reacted to these orders the way these
slackers
troops, and I say troops very lightly, reacted, we would have been up for a court martial.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Or at least general quarters.
Oh, it would have been. It would have been
because they were like just lollygagging around and what are we doing? What's going on? And even the captain mentioned to him. He says, "The hell is this, dude?
Yeah,
come on, Sergeant, get your people in line and get it going."
Sure. Now, by nightfall, Andor finally arrives, and he actually goes by a different name. He goes by a different name because I just looked it up. So when he arrives, him and Pac are doing their thing. Pac goes off. The Empire is starting to put a curfew into effect.
Right.
And because Andor was flying low and landed outside the city and making basically shipwreck.
that was funny because Pac told him, fly low.
Fly low.
Okay.
Avoid the radars.
It's what we call it's called nap of the earth. So you follow the contours of wherever you're flying through.
Yep.
And if you've never experienced it before, it's a very good likelihood that you're going to poop your pants.
It's interesting
because nap of the earth is scary if you don't know what's going on.
It's interesting to say the least.
Yes. I mean, it's thrilling. It's as thrilling as being on. It is the best kind of roller coaster that you could ever be on.
It really is.
But at the same time, it is terrifying.
I accidentally asked Megan to join, and I don't know how or why. Hi, Megan. How you doing? How you doing, huh?
I'm doing good.
You're really low, but I think that's just because of my board. So I apologize for that. I don't know why or how that happened, but it did. She's trying not to laugh. She's holding her mouth and her nose at the moment.
Don't snort. Don't snort.
We are prone to making people snort. So, first of all, I wanted to thank you for all the gifts that you just sent us on TikTok. Thank you, dear. Appreciate it. She's nodding and smiling. She's afraid to talk now. But I wanted to, since you're here, I wanted to personally thank you. Thank you. So,
yes, thank you very much, Meg.
Yeah. So, okay, you can hang up now. I honestly don't know how that happened.
Lucky Ducky came along and hit a button that you didn't see him do.
Here's the worst part. I don't know how to change it back to just one camera. Oh God. God help me.
Can't help you out there, buddy.
Screwing things up. So anyway, while I figure this out, that's a whole new thing there. Let me do that. And nope, that didn't work. Oh, I'm sure Megan will help me with the layout and all that. So, yep, that's happening. And my camera just flipped too.
You need to put your camera on so that I can see this.
Right? I don't want to flip the video. I don't want. There we go. There we go. Okay, I'm back to seeing me, but when it comes to the layout, I can't change it all of a sudden.
Right.
Let me see here.
By the way, Andor's name that he goes by on this visit,
Yes,
is Ronnie Guja.
Ronnie Guja.
Ronnie Guja. GOO-JAH.
Oh yeah, that's right. Wasn't he? He was being a reporter this time, right?
Yes. A reporter for Mid-Rim News.
Mid-Rim News, also known as your local newspaper across the outer rim.
Also known as a crock of shit.
Was it really though? Like, I mean, seriously, is it really like that? Because
now the thing that we didn't mention at this point is the reason that Andor and Pack have gone back to Gorman.
yes, we did. Revenge.
But what?
Revenge is a dish best served cold.
But revenge for what?
For Phoenix.
Here's the thing,
What Miro did to Phoenix.
right? But
Torture and murder.
I can't think of her name. What's the Empire woman's name?
Miro.
Miro. Okay, that was her then.
Yeah.
Miro's there on the planet. Pax saw that she is on the planet, and
Let's kill her.
to kind of semi-quote him, this is the best chance we are going to have. She is standing there waiting to be killed.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, obviously Cassian is a lot better shot than Pack is.
Sure. Yep. I mean,
So,
he's got the
Pack's
training.
going to be the guy Andor's going to be the guy to take the shot. And, Pack knows exactly what floor she's on and what window and everything,
He's all over the place.
But he convinced him to do this. After Andor's like, you can't go back. It's bad there. You don't want to go back. You're going to die.
It's true. It's true.
And somehow or another, Pack managed to convince him, one, to not only let Pack go back, but to accompany him and be the sniper to take out Miro.
Yes.
So he gets there, he gets in the hotel room, and the guy at the desk looked familiar to me. Did he look familiar to you?
Yeah, he was the same guy from the first time that he stayed there.
He was the bus boy
Yep.
the first time that Andor went there.
Yep. Absolutely.
And I was sitting there, I was watching him, and I'm going, okay, what is this guy gonna do? Because he knows it's the same guy coming by a different name. So what's he gonna do? How's he gonna react to seeing him again
That's
under a
gonna
different
be
name and all this other
weird.
stuff? But he doesn't do anything. Andor goes up to his room, talks with Pat because they have comms together, and then he's sitting there. He's looking out the window across to where her window is going to be, and he hears something. He hears somebody talking.
Oh, yeah, that was cool.
And he cracks the patio door open, and he hears more. So he goes and he gets a little retractable mirror thing, kind of like it's a mini version of the thing they use to look under people's cars for explosives.
Yes.
It's like a miniature thing of that. And he gets it out and he sticks it out the door just a little bit. And what does he see? But right above him are two stormtroopers.
Those stormtroopers.
And it's like, some bitch.
Connor Williams just commented on from YouTube.
Oh, hi, Connor.
And he says he was also in the previous scene in the meeting with the Gorham Front. In the year, it seems Andor's words spurred him into joining the rebellion. You are not wrong, sir. Not wrong at all.
Nope, not wrong at all.
Nailed it. On the head.
And it seems now that Pack is kind of the main guy for comms
Yes.
for the group, the rebel group there.
Yes.
And everything, because he's like at the comms table when he got in touch with Andor and everything, and it was, so he
It makes sense.
his role in previous episodes when he was back on the planet and they were hiding in the wheat fields and all that stuff, his role has changed big time.
Oh, drastically.
In those 2 years
Yes, absolutely.
since that happened. Now he's a major part. He's a pivotal part of the Gorman rebel group.
Yes.
Plus, he's kind of, if you notice, he's kind of sweet on somebody.
Just a little. Listen,
Just a little bit.
people find love in the weirdest places, okay? And a war front is known to happen.
Mm-hmm.
It's known to happen.
Because, I mean, people are always looking for love in all the wrong places. Oh, sorry.
I mean, I pretty much did that, but you sang it, and I liked it better. I liked it better when you did it. I'm just saying.
I try, man. I try. You know.
I mean, they're flirting. You know.
But that was because that was the end of episode 1, where he sees these rebels, he sees the stormtroopers on the balcony above him, or 2 balconies above him, and he pulls the thing in, closes the door, and as they go to black, he's just staring out the door towards Mira. The window where Miro's going to be.
Yeah, he's staring directly at her. So he's got great line of sight.
Oh yeah, perfect line of sight.
Which
I didn't think about, but that's kind of could have gotten set up by the guy at the desk.
Oh, absolutely, it was.
So it's like and that's why I said, what is this guy's reaction going to be? Is he going to report Andor as wait a minute? This is the second time I've seen him. And it's been a different name and a different occupation both times, or is he just going to let it go? Because they talked about that he didn't have a reservation or something,
right?
And they were going to have to report it. Yeah. When we find out in episode 2 that they never reported it.
Yeah, that's true.
So
that is true. Connor makes a very good opinion / statement. He hopes that Deidre doesn't die in Andor, but her meteoric rise and potential exposure of Axis earns her a coveted position aboard the Death Star under Colonel Yularen. Her ambition gets her killed. So
now, Connor, let me ask you a question.
He's a Star Wars guy.
8 and 9?
That's a very good question. Have you watched 8 and 9? Because we're getting into that next, and obviously we're going to be, kind of summing it up a little bit between 8 and 9. Because let's face it, 8 and 9. Oh,
yeah, but and the reason I ask is because if you haven't, and you don't want it spoiled for you,
spoiler alert coming up. Not that we've been spoiling this episode alone. I mean, I'm just saying that the spoilers are happening.
We don't want to ruin it for you if you haven't already seen it.
The spoilers
but we will.
Are happening. So yes. So with these next 2 episodes, 8 and 9. Oh, beautiful. He's watched both of them. Excellent, sir. Excellent.
Good. Then we can continue.
We can absolutely continue. So
we can continue with no worries.
So when it comes down to it, now we have to worry about what's going to happen on Gorman. And episode 8 is titled, Who Are You? And rightfully so. And rightfully so. Because this is the episode that is the absolute 150% turning point.
Yes.
For everything that we've seen from season 1 up until now.
I mean, to put it simply, this is where the Empire enacts their plan.
Yes.
This is what they have been building to, especially in the last 2 episodes.
Yes. Now, side stories aside, we're just going to push those off to the side for a little bit.
Yeah.
we do not care about anything happening on Coruscant right now.
Nope.
And the reason being is they are centering on taking over Gorman.
We'll worry about Coruscant in episode 9.
Yes. This is the episode where all the propaganda, all the twisting of tales, all the stories from one side to another hit a little too close to home. this day and age, and again, we don't do politics here, but there's a lot of similarities of what's happened over, I wouldn't even say the last 8 years. I would say like the last 20.
I mean, you look back at the Civil War.
Oh, yeah. Civil War.
With
World
Britain
War
and the
II.
way that they did things and the way that we did things and everything else.
Yep.
And you can draw perfect parallels all the way across.
Absolutely.
You know, and you can do it with most major conflicts that have happened in the world.
Absolutely.
So,
And
you know,
and this is also where I ruined it for everybody in the beginning of the show, where I said Tiananmen Square,
right?
because there's a lot of resemblance to this in Tiananmen Square and this episode.
Well, and like I said, I mean, it's very
There's
poetic, I guess.
There's what?
Would be a good way to describe the fact that you have a massacre
Yeah.
on the site of a memorial
Yeah.
for a massacre.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I mean, how convenient was that?
Very, not just convenient, but ironic as well.
Yeah.
Now, for those that don't remember previous episodes, Grand Moff Tarkin, who was not a Grand Moff at the time, landed a Imperial Star Destroyer on 500 Gorman in the middle of this square.
500 died.
All 500 clearly died. He landed a ship on them. Because that is the type of person that Grand Moff Tarkin is. And if you didn't know that from Star Wars, A New Hope, also known as just Star Wars, for those of us who originally know it as just Star Wars, he blew up
Here's your
Alderaan
fact.
without even thinking about it. So,
Right.
picture painted way back in 1977 when Star Wars first came out of how brutal Grand Moff Tarkin is. Now, fast forward multiple years later,
Yeah.
the Gorman people are now pissed off. They've had it. They're protesting, and they're
Yeah.
all gathering in the square.
The faction is tired of talking.
Yeah.
It
Now,
is time for action.
Andor is currently in the hotel across from the square, posing as a journalist.
Newspaper man.
Yep.
Yes.
Pack is with the Gormans. Now, Pack, or as he's known for the call sign, the weather station, because that's what he's doing. He's working for them at the desk, using the radio and all that good stuff. He